Hello, hypnotic friends. How are you? Kelly McGuire here from McGuire Hypnosis and Counseling. And I wanted to share with you a very silly but frustrating experience that I just had. I bought a little while ago these new incense holders and new incense sticks, and I went to put the sticks in the new holders and they just weren't fitting. And I was getting so frustrated, so stressed. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, this is a little tiny annoying thing happening, but my stress level is like going to a 10 out of 10. I'm going to need to use one of my tools to step away, take a few deep breaths, and not just deep breaths, but a particular kind of breathing exercise that I want to show you in a minute, and really regroup myself, because this is not a big problem in the grand scheme of problems in my life and in the world. And so when I was having that big reaction to this tiny little thing, it was really a good indicator to me that my stress level was higher than I had realized. So, so often we get feeling extremely stressful because of a lot of things happening in one day and we can just explode. Or maybe it's a bunch of little things happening over days, weeks, maybe even months or years, and then all of a sudden little things seem big. There are all kinds of indicators that we have that our system is trying to give us to show us, hey, I'm feeling stressed. We could have stress coming out in our relationships. We could not be sleeping well. We could be full of anxiety and not able to get out of bed or even function normally. I mean, stress can be coming out in all kinds of ways. And really, stress can be a messenger, like most of our experiences and emotions. They can be a messenger to say, hey, this is okay or this is not okay. And then here's some energy to do something with it. So once I received, in my little incense example, once I received the clear message that I am obviously experiencing more stress than needed with this little incense situation, I decided to put my money where my mouth is, use one of my own tools that I teach, and take a step back and do a certain kind of breathing exercise that I'm going to show you and teach you in a second. And having done that, I was able to regroup, ground myself, take my mind out of that loop that I was getting into, switch up my behavior, my body activity, because I was no longer trying to fit this little stick thing into a holder that just wasn't working. And then I was really able to change my experience and get empowered in this moment versus feeling like this situation and this giant feeling was taking over my experience. So it was really empowering. It was very easy, very quick, and it's one of the few tools that I like to teach my clients in how to get on the other side of stress. We can't stop stress from happening. Big stress, little stress, all the stressors that we have, we can't stop it from entering our lives, but we can learn these tools to figure out how to navigate through in the moment, and then how to release long term so that energy doesn't get stuck within us and trigger us the next time something little is happening. So here's the breathing exercise that I did, and I want to share it with you now. It's really easy, really quick. It does involve the imagination. So for those of you who work with me already, I like to use the power of imagination. It's one of the hypnotic tools. Our subconscious mind doesn't always know the difference between real life and imagination. So when we imagine, we actually have part of our brain feeling that experiencing that moment. So we can actually use it as a tool for change. So when we breathe in, we're going to imagine that the breath is coming from the bottom of the torso. So it can either be just the very bottom of your torso, you can imagine it at the bottom of your spine, or for those of you who are familiar with the chakra system, you can imagine that this breath is starting at your base chakra. Whether you imagine it like a little puff of air or a little cloud or a little flower, or I like to imagine the breath as a little ball of light. So imagine that this breath begins at that base And as you breathe in, imagine it's traveling up your torso and stops just at the top of your head, and then hold it there for 5 seconds. And then when you breathe out, imagine that it goes back down, but goes into your heart space. So it comes all the way up from the bottom of the torso, the top of the head, hold 2, 3, 4, release back down into the heart. As though you're filling up your heart like filling up a glass of water with breath, light, flowers, clouds, whatever it is that you are imagining this breath is, this breath of life force energy. Let's do it together. Right now, we can just do one. So begin to take a deep breath in now. Imagine it coming up and up and up and up all through your torso to the top of the head. Hold for 5 seconds. And then release down into the heart space. Like you're filling up your heart space, your heart, your chest with that light, that breath, that energy, whatever it is that you're imagining. You can do that, I would say, minimum of 3 times, maximum of until you feel like you've shifted the space that you were in, until you've seen the difference in the circular inner dialogues that are happening in your mind, until you feel a shift in your body, until you feel grounded again, until and as needed. This is a wonderful, easy, quick, but effective breathing technique that, as I said, I do like to share with my clients. And I do notice these days with the work with my clients that stress is really creeping into our lives in a whole new way right now. You know, a lot of us feel like life is starting back up again. We're supposed to get back into our old routines. People are going out and driving and attending events and going out for dinners like before. And yet, for many people, we're still on that slower paced COVID times kind of energy system. Many people might not feel ready for all of the hustle and bustle of life getting back to quote unquote normal, or at least that old pace. And so you may be experiencing stress in all kinds of ways. So this is one technique that I hope that you can use. Let me know if you like it. Feel free to put it in the comments if you use it and what it was like for you. And I've been having a lot of requests, as many as you know, for things where we bring people together, either virtually or in person. And so I have been creating different groups, classes, workshops that I'm going to be offering and rolling out over the next several months. And the first one is Alive and Well, Up and Out. So I am going to be running a virtual support group for women. So it's just the first of many to come. It will be virtual, so we'll start in the old online world. A virtual support group for women. It will begin in mid-November. It's going to go for 6 weeks, Wednesday evenings. And I'm not specifying the kind of stress that women might be having, because I have a feeling that a lot of us are going to come together who are experiencing it in many different ways. Some of you may be feeling, overwhelmed with anxiety and unable to function like normal, quote unquote. Some of you may be feeling the stress coming out in relationships, or you might just be feeling more tired than usual, or you might be able to handle everything in your life, but then just collapse at the end of the day and not be able to do anything above and beyond the bare minimum. Or it may be coming out in all kinds of different ways, maybe stress headaches and muscle tension, or, questioning who you are and having existential conversations or journeys. Whatever it is that is bringing stress into your life, I'm inviting women who are experiencing stress in whatever way to consider this support group. It will be 6 weeks, as I mentioned. There will be receipts available. The only catch here is that you must be in Ontario to be participating in this group, even though it's online. My classes and workshops will not have that stipulation. They will not need to be Ontario people only, but these support groups will be. So if that sounds like you and sounds like something you're interested in, I do like to think outside of the box, right? So I'm going to bring in a lot of these tools and techniques to help guide the group in learning about stress, what it looks like in each of your lives, and how to tangibly and creatively get back into the empowerment position so that we can release this stress and get back into feeling grounded and ourselves again. So we will be doing things like hypnotic meditations. We will be doing creative breathing exercises. I will be teaching things like tapping, which is a way to bring the body into the experience, the energy systems, and releasing all of that tension. As you probably know already, our body does participate in the stress situation, right? We get tension, headaches, tight muscles. So the tapping is one way to bring the body into the healing aspect and the releasing aspect. We'll be doing other things that, go into that subconscious world, the subconscious shifting of that inner dialogue, and radical self-care above and beyond the bubble bath. While bubble baths are lovely and are self-care in and of themselves, we're going to take the idea of self-care to the next level. We're going radical self-care. Let's go deeper. Let's get bigger. Let's create actual action plans. So this is a support group, but I am going to be bringing in these tools and techniques as well. So if this sounds good to you, I will put the information in the comment section below. You can have a look at that. Email me at one of the 2 emails that will be in the poster below. And I'm happy to answer any questions. If you're interested, I can set up a quick virtual meet so that we can decide together if this is in fact the right group for you and get things set up and get you registered. If this may not be the right timing or the right group, but you're interested in these tools and techniques, I will be running more groups in the new year as well, and B, I will be teaching some of these tools and techniques in classes and workshops in the new year. So you can still learn what these things are, how to use them, just in more of a teaching environment versus a support group. And of course, the last piece of this support group, which I think is one of the biggest healing elements of a group, is the healing element of the togetherness. There's a healing, there's a shift that can happen when we are together, when we are with other people, other humans wanting to heal as well. There's such a wonderful energy and such a powerful thing about coming together to heal, talk about shared experiences, talk about our own experiences and have them heard and witnessed and valued by other humans. I think a lot of people during these, last couple of years have learned just how important the value of human connection is and togetherness is. So to heal some of that, I think one of the big healing elements here will be the support group itself, just having people coming together to be there for each other. So this is a support group, virtual support group for women wanting to heal from stress and cope with stress. Check out the details below. Feel free to email me for details or to get registered. And I will leave it at that. I hope that you do use this breathing exercise. Again, let me know if you do. And I hope you're having a wonderful day now or evening now. And remember to heal and then rise and go above and beyond and be hypnotic. I'll talk to you soon.